One girl lives, one girl dies.
You get to choose.
So I wouldn't say The Exorcist was one of my favorite horror films. I know I only say that because I've never seen The Exorcist 2 and 3. I didn't even actually know there was a 3. I think I might have known there was a 2, but definitely never seen either one. I've only seen the original Exorcist. And I mean, I like it. And it is a cult classic. It's terrorized generations, and it will terrorize generations to come, but it's mainly because it was one of the first films that really dealt with the fear of that unknown, of dealing with the possession, of dealing with the devil, of dealing with the demon. And when I heard that there was a remake coming, I was so shocked. I was like, all right, let's see how it goes, let's see how it turns out. Hopefully it's good. And then when the trailer dropped, I was like, holy shit, like not only is it seems like it's going to be pretty good, but again, all this Hollywood shit of all this inclusion and having to have all the races in so you can fucking see yourself and shit. I'm so over it. So the fact that there was not one girl, but two, and one was black, I was like, damn it, they had to have a black and a white girl. They had to have an Oreo set up for the plot. Fine. It couldn't just be a black girl. It had to be a black and a white girl. So right before the movie, before I saw the film, I already had my ideas of like, what are they gonna make the black family, the more superstitious, not as religious family, of course, or are they gonna have the white family be the God loving, Christian going, Catholic going, whichever side they want to put them on family. I mean, it would make sense. Why not? And that's kind of actually what it is. I mean, in the actual second Exorcist movie, apparently they go back to like Africa. It involves Megan and her mom again. But then in the third Exorcist film that they did in the 1990, apparently it retcons all that, and it deals with the priest that died from the first Exorcist film when he was exorcising Megan. And it turns out that he's actually still possessed, and like he's actually now possessed by that demon in the third Exorcist film. So considering that both of these films were probably retconned in the story of this movie, it was very interesting. Like, again, why are you putting two black, like, it's just like a traditional 2023 styled possession movie at this point. I was like, I wasn't really digging it, but I was like, I'm going to watch it because I do, like I said, I like The Exorcist. It wasn't a favorite, but I'm curious to see where they're going to go with it now that I can identify with the family in the film, right? That's what it's supposed to be about, right? You're supposed to want to go watch it. So Believer follows widowed father Victor and his daughter Angela, and Victor had went traveling with his wife a couple years ago before his daughter was born, and she got in this horrible accident and ended up losing her life. But he had a choice that they said either save the child or save your wife. We can't save them both. And when his wife was like slowly losing consciousness, she was like, save the child, save our baby. So of course, he saved the child, and his wife passed away. So now later on, he doesn't really unfortunately let his daughter know that much about the wife. I guess he just doesn't really want to talk about it, or he doesn't let her see things, and which is interesting. I mean, I would fucking be like, hey, this was all of your mom's, you remind me of her, and she wanted you to live, and I mean, I don't know why he had to be such a fucking kind of an asshole about stuff like that, but it is what it is. I mean, they did kind of make him the superstitious, like, oh, I lost my wife, like, I don't believe in anything, but I believe in the right to believe. So I guess that's always going to be enough, right? And then, his daughter, she just goes to school one day, and she's like, oh, I'm going to go, study with my friend or whatever. And he's like, all right, be home by dinner. And she goes, and turns out she goes with her friend, who is also didn't lose her family, but she is actually this Christian girl, Catholic girl or whatever. And she says that she has this way of, that we can talk to spirits or whatever, and some shit, that we're going to, hypnotize each other. And, again, that whole aspect was so random, because when they first show that other girl and her family, it obviously just shows that the family is kind of like a traditional white country family, I guess, that just their kids go wild, but they believe in the Lord and everything's gravy. And it turns out that she had some way of fucking talking to spirits. And I'm going to just take a break real quick and say that this is very Evil Dead Rise-ish. I would say that this movie could have been called Evil Dead Rise, and I would have believed it. I would have totally believed it, right? The girl comes, and instead of just all of a sudden getting hypnotized and they become possessed, she brings the Book of the Dead and says, look at this crazy book that my dad's actually a pastor and he found this book, and I grabbed the book, and apparently you can like use it to speak to to spirits, and maybe we can speak to your mom or some shit. But it's the Book of the Dead, so why would you read this book? Why would you think this book is going to bring anything good? Like, but it would have at least made sense instead of just being like, oh no, we literally hypnotized ourselves to the point where we were at the right place and time. We were not even in a burial ground, not even in an old abandoned church, but literally we were possessed. There was a demon there at the right time and we got possessed. It was just kind of bullshit, but whatever. I'll buy it. Like I said, the movie, I actually did enjoy this film. So then now the girls end up being possessed. They were gone for like a couple days, and it pretty much goes from 0 to 60, pretty quick. Of course, the white family, the religious family, think that they can keep their daughter at home, think that nothing's wrong with her, even though she has like these outbursts at church and like all this shit goes down. They think that she's fine. We'll just keep her at home. Whereas the black dad, right? The black family, his daughter starts going crazy, and he starts freaking out because he's like, why are you freaking out? I don't like this, and I'm gonna take you to the hospital. And now he admits her into a psychiatric ward because he literally thinks she's going crazy because he doesn't believe in like there's no demon in her. But it turns out that naturally his neighbor, who is like this like bitter old lady, turns out to be this sad old lady, that she was actually going to become a nun at one point, and that she sees that whatever's going on with your daughters is something that I feel like has happened before. And then she gives him the book of Chris McNeil, who was Megan's mom, right, from the original Exorcist. She wrote this book on possession and what happened to her daughter, and he reads it, and it turns out there's a lot of similarities. So he goes to meet her, and she discusses the patriarchy of fucking exorcisms. And again, I know a lot of people are freaking out over that patriarchy line, but I would honestly believe that it had to have been a throwaway line. But I already called half the movie saying that it was going to be all racially charged, right? Of the black family not believing, the white family over believing. It was too on the nose for her to say that. But even the black dude kind of laughs because it's like, okay, well, yeah, but you all are dealing with some real shit right now. So maybe, just maybe, those priests didn't want you to get hurt, right? They didn't want you to be in harm's way. So she tells him about, like, we need to do this exorcism. We need to, get this. This is what you would need to do. And when she comes to try to help, shit happens. She ends up getting her fucking eyes gouged out, and that was actually pretty wicked. And now she's like blind. So that was pretty funny. That's what you get, right? God was like, "Hey, you fucking want to talk shit about the patriarchy? Boom, lose your sight, bitch. You should see with your eyes, not with your mind." So now Victor, the black dude. Oh yeah, the other daughter, Catherine, she's the one that ends up freaking out, having the real possession. Really seems to be like holding strong in Catherine, right? Because the whole reason Angela wanted to speak to spirits is because she wanted to speak to her mom. But it's the classic where she went to speak to mom wasn't there, something else was there and got into her instead. So I feel like throughout this whole movie, though, the mom's spirit is with her and is trying to help her, whereas in Catherine there is no spirit, there is nothing but the desire to speak to the other world. There was no end goal, there was no reason, it was just the desire to. So the spirit had a more of a hold on her than it did Angela, the black girl. So now, of course, the exorcism is needed. They go to the church. The church goes to tries to sanction the exorcism. And of course, what do they say? No. The church, of course, says no. The priest comes back. I can't fucking do the exorcism, blah, blah, blah. The church won't do it. They say she needs psychiatric help. It's not really a possession. And he leaves. So, of course, in the theater I was in, everyone's like, oh my God. Like, people are like, oh, like, because they're like, we're going to do the exorcism. The family's like, we're going to come together and blah, 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 this shit. And the priest is like literally sitting in his car, like praying. And the black dude walks up to the car and he's like, hey, man, the fight's in there. Like, what the fuck? Like, fuck your church, pretty much. And so as the exorcism is like going down, the girls are getting more possessed. The effects and everything look great. Like, I love the makeup and everything for the girls. It did look awesome, and it did work at the end with the two of them. But like I said, seeing that trailer, I was like very much so swayed. But when they both are at full possession, it is pretty awesome, and it did get pretty cool. I kind of wish some more deaths happened. I kind of wish some more grotesque shit happened. But the bits that they showed and the jump scares that they had were pretty cool. so once the possession starts taking, so once that exorcism starts taking place, the priest actually walks into the room, and I swear, like, the theater started applauding. I was like, wow, fuck yeah, amen, like, thank you, the priest is here, Jesus, Lord save us, you know, like, these girls are gonna die, they're gonna kill everybody, because I really thought everyone was gonna die, because that's what the trailers made it seem. I thought everyone was gonna die, or someone else was gonna get possessed, or this movie was not gonna end on a happy note, which it really doesn't. So it turns out, you know, the demons, as the demons getting exorcised, it says they have to choose. They have to choose either the one of the daughters, because one of the daughters will survive and one of them won't. So of course the father doesn't choose. He just gives the daughter like the scarf that she had wanted from her mom, because they're doing it in like his house. And he's like, you know, I'm sorry that I never fucking, you know, let you be with your mom, but your mom is here. She loves you. And so the mom's spirit, like I said, the mom's spirit obviously is able to be there for the daughter and like help the daughter overcome this demon. And then the white family, the one that's like, you know, that's the religious one, they give into the demon, and they're like, oh, you know, I choose you, honey. I choose you, Catherine. I choose you. And it's like, oh, well, of course, like, you know, the demon wanted you to choose. Ultimately, if you didn't choose, the demon maybe would have lost and like would have released both girls, but because they chose their daughter ends up being the one actually that the demon wanted. The demon was like, choose which one I will take, whichever one I take, you will get the other one. So he takes their daughter, and then, you know, leaves the black girl, obviously. But it's like, bruh, the father literally didn't really believe. He just believed in his daughter's belief in wanting to be with her mom. Like, it's like, that's not fair, bro. You should have been there since fucking she was born. You should have shown her and told her who her mother was. You know, she should have been able to have, you know, pictures of her mom and things of her mom. Like, why would you keep all that shit from her? So I mean, at the end, it was very like, dude, you could have done that in the beginning. Like, there was no need. Like, I mean, you know, when Catherine, the white girl, went in, was like, oh, you know, you could speak to your mom. Like, she should have been like, hell no, I don't need to speak to no spirit. Like, what the fuck? Like, instead of being like, okay, yeah, let's go into the woods and fucking read from the Book of the Dead. You know, that's why I say Evil Dead Rise could have easily been The Exorcist. And Evil Dead Rise could have, and, you know, The Exorcist could have easily been Evil Dead Rise. But like I said, honestly, it was a good movie. It was a solid start to the horror season, to the Halloween, you know, to the Halloween month. So definitely I would say check it out, you know, and at the end, you know, even Linda Blair comes back as Megan, which was pretty awesome. And it's like, at the end, everyone needs to believe, you know, God is real, you know, amen. And in this movie, if you believe in demons and shit, you gotta believe in something greater, you know, because something greater will help you and will save you. But anyway, I don't want to get too preachy now, but I enjoyed it. I genuinely enjoyed it. Definitely say you should check it out if you're a fan of The Exorcist. Of course, if you're a fan of the second two movies, I definitely think you will like this one. I'm going to have to go back and watch The Exorcist 2 and 3 now, just so I can get the full story, because I am so intrigued. But yeah, this has been Ghost on the Craig. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like, share, and subscribe. Exorcist Believer, man. Check it out. It was a lot of fun. You guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and peace. Cheers to the Halloween season. Woo! Let's get these horror reviews.